Good morning. I want to talk today about mourning, not morning. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold. Mourning. My friend's grandfather passed away yesterday. So it kind of led me into my own issues of mourning and grieving and sorrow. And that's how we heal. That's how I have found to heal. By helping others, by helping myself, by researching and learning. So I came to Deuteronomy 34:8, and excuse me, it reads, "And the Israelites wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. Then the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were ended." So when Moses died, the Israelites mourned deeply over the loss of their leader. They wept for him for 30 days. Then the days of mourning were ended. I'm not suggesting that the grieving process should only last 30 days, but I believe the principle behind this verse is important. I think it is letting us know that eventually we will move on. Sometimes the best thing we can do when we are hurting is to do something. Find a place, a new beginning, get up, get dressed, get moving. Go take a walk and talk to God. There it is there for me, no matter what situation. I can always take a walk and talk to God about it. And, yeah, works every time for me. Sometimes it's a 4-hour walk and sometimes it's a 10-minute walk. But he will meet us there. And he always comes through. So back to this. Do something for somebody else as you work through your grief. You may have times when you simply need to get your mind off of what is going on. Because you've done everything that you can do. And there's nothing else you can do except for just let time take time and the process take the process and God do his thing. Just waiting for full healing. I don't know about full healing ever coming. I believe for me, I've gotten to a point where I am happy. I'm good. There's a piece of me that is gone. Will always be gone. And if a piece of the puzzle is missing, it's missing. Doesn't mean that the picture isn't going to be beautiful. There's just a piece missing, and that's okay. But that took time to get there. To not see the missing piece all the time on the picture. To just see what was there. If that's a good demonstration for anybody. So I'm going to finish reading a little more. Again, this is some of my own input with some of what I have found in the Bible and with my favorite, Joyce Myers. She's my grieving counselor, if you might say, along with my Bible and along with my God. But time takes time. Anyway, so let me get back to my thoughts. It is proper to grieve, but don't let a spirit of grief control your life. That's pretty powerful. Don't let the spirit of grief control your life. That's powerful because it will keep you in bed. It will control your life. It will gave me labels of bipolar, post-traumatic stress disorder, 5150'd, suicidal. All of those things are real and happened to me, and I lived through them. And it was that spirit of grief, and I felt entitled to be sad, to be in grief mode, to be loaded. And the sad thing is, it's felt like my family was just like, as long as I'm not getting 5150'd, whatever I'm doing, they were okay with it. So anyway, back to this. If you have been through a recent tragic loss, you may not be ready to go on yet. And that's okay too. I talk about being parked at our pain and how long are we going to park in this mourning, in this grief. There has to come a point where you have to set a limit to yourself. I had to set a limit to myself of how long I was going to stay parked in this. So that's pretty powerful. If it's not time yet, evaluate how long have you been parked in this. Does it seem healthy? Do you feel like you're moving on? Do grieve, do mourn, do that. I'm in my pajamas and my hair's not brushed and I have no makeup on, and I think you could probably even see my chin hair, but because that's kind of what it looks like. I can remember being so bad that it would take like an hour for my friend to brush my hair, and there were scissors involved because my hair would be so knotted up. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. That is not a healthy version. Hair that, just looks like I woke out of bed and maybe been there for a couple days. That's okay. Take your time. But don't stay parked in it to the point where you have to take scissors to your hair to cut out all the knots because you've been in bed so long. That's not healthy. So you may not be ready to go on and get busy again. It may not be easy, but you will be important. It may not be easy, but it will be important to your healing. Do not rush it, but when it comes, embrace it with the trust, the Holy Spirit to guide you and comfort you. I have no idea what I just read. I apologize. I'm going to start over again. It is proper to grieve, but don't let the spirit of grief control your life. If you have been through a recent tragic loss, you may not be ready to go on yet. Now, know that the time will come when you need to get busy again. It may not be easy, but it will be important to your healing. So don't rush it. But when it comes, embrace it and trust the Holy Spirit to guide and comfort you as you move forward. Yeah. So He will heal us. And some people might be thinking, why are you so religious? Because Jesus is my healer, and I believe that with all of me. I know that with all of me, that there's no possible way I could heal myself. I needed Jesus, and I thank Him all the time for being my healer and for healing me in this big stuff and this little stuff, whether it's tackling a little problem, a little issue, mental issue, physical issue, a addiction to whatever that I shouldn't have. Jesus can heal me of that. And it's on His time, not mine. So love yourself today. Always remember that no matter what you have lost, you still have a lot left. And God has a purpose. I'm sorry. Let me start over. I apologize. I have a cold and it is just, yeah. And this is a lot. And I can't delete what I just said. So let's start over. Always remember that no matter what you have lost, you still have a lot left. And God has a purpose yet to be fulfilled in your life. So, what does that mean? That if you can't see anything, just believe that there's a purpose and for all this. When I was going through my grief and people would tell me things like that, I wanted to punch them in the throat because they didn't know. What did they know? They didn't have their son brutally murdered. How are they going to tell me that God has a purpose and it's going to be okay? It would piss me off. But also know that people don't know what to say. sometimes. So you have to kind of filter through a little bit of that. But God does have a purpose, and He does. And what that looks like, I don't know what to tell you on that. This is my purpose right now. With what happened is to help others. To what level? I don't know. But today, just this. So try to be patient with people when they say stupid things about how to grieve and how to mourn. People don't know what to say. It's one of those things that it just takes time. And be patient with yourself on this, and check yourself. Do a regular check with yourself. Am I moving past this? Am I still parked in this? How long? Give yourself time limits and time frames that are realistic. You know, it talked here about in Deuteronomy 34 that they did 30 days. You know, that was that situation. This is your situation. Find a healthy timeline, and move on. Love the person, miss the person, grieve the person. But you got to move on. And I'm gonna say one of those stupid things that was said to me. They don't want to see you like that. Apologize for that one, but you'll get to a point where you'll be like, okay, you know what? That makes sense. I can live for this person, even though they're gone. I want them to see me be happy. For me, it was not allowing my son's death, because he was a victim, was not allowing my daughter to become a victim and me to become a victim and the rest of my days to be victimized. But that's a different situation. That was a murder, and that was not just somebody passing on. It's a little bit different, but nonetheless, it's a loss. Anyway, with that being said, and one more thing. This is really cool. There's 100 verses on grief and sorrow if you just Google it. And the one that was really cool was, I can't pronounce this one, Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 4, a time for everything. So yeah, that's Ecclesiastes chapter 3, 1 through 14. And I believe there's even a song called A Time to Heal. Check it out. Anyway, happy trails.